Good morning and welcome you all. I thank our Society for Engineered Structure Society of India for giving me this opportunity and also CIDC for conducting this conference and giving us this opportunity. Today I'll be sharing my topic of precast construction industry policy reforms and contracts. So we all know precast concrete industry is growing at a very impressive pace, and still it requires some boosters like policy reforms and changes in the contract conditions to help precast contractors execute more successfully actually. So with this background, I would like to say my overview of the topic is precast construction in India, and then projects of different categories for which we need to talk about this policy reforms and contract conditions changes. So we all know precast construction in India, the technology has taken leaps actually, because though the precast construction started about 50 years back in India, but it couldn't take off because of various limitations of the policies of the government and also availability of the equipment readily and all that. But we all know precast construction helps facilitate this faster and quality assured construction, and the volumes whenever which is happening in our country now, large scale housing constructions or large scale building constructions will help, this technology will help achieve the delivery in time with the quality required and with a fixed cost. And technology innovations, like multiple technologies are available in precast, we all know. And in India, we are able to cope up with the latest developments happening, whether it is modular precast or total precast, or it is upgrade technology and normal panels construction. All these technologies are available, and we have equipment for erection also, for heights, including the tower cranes and the reach of the booms. They're all available now, and we all know the engineering and architecture is also gearing up to plan for these precast technologies with columns, light wall panels or structural wall panels, double T's, hollow core, inverted T-beams, spandrels, rectangular beams, stairs, and all that. So these are all the precast elements we all know. And the benefits of going for precast basically is the buildability and factory production with the proven design methodology, planned and speedy construction program for which we have very good IT support, economy, eco-friendly with less wastage and no pollution, sound pollution and air pollution, health and safety of the workers, and inherent fire protection properties like cover and quality of the concrete and durability. Mainly, major advantage is the durability and efficient reinforcement with the large span and air tightness because of the lesser porosity and lesser permeability in the concrete, because concrete being produced in a controlled environment. So the cycle, starting with the planning, design team setup, and preliminary health and safety statements and precast health and safety, design risk assessments, and then access and cranes availability and access of vehicles, trailers, and then the crane movement and crane operating convenience, and then design statement, design brief, and the preliminary drawings like general arrangement and then document control, approval process and drawing sign-off procedure, project program for the precast starting from casting, curing, transportation, erection, and alignment and the final acceptance tests. And for all these activities, method statements being prepared and site preparation by the main contractor for foundations and stores and stacking and delivery and acceptance of the materials at the site. And for all this, we have to have the quality documentation, installation and approval and sign of file. So these are all the typical process, and we all know about this dry method, dry joints and wet joints, and then parking garages and advantages. We all know high quality control, speedy construction, reduction in formwork and scaffolding, and any shape and any finish can be achieved with this, and durability is the major and aesthetic appearance. So these are all some of the drawings, which shop drawings, which we have to make with all the details of the stripping, stacking, transportation, and erection, slinging, all this what I'm showing here. And so this is the brief background about precast and where it stands in our country today. So now what are the policy reforms we require to further boost this precast technology in construction? This is basically the discipline from within the industry, like quality delivery and keeping up the timelines is very important. Otherwise, any one or two contractors failing also, it is affecting the acceptance by the clients and corporates. So we all industry people have to be abiding by this discipline about the standards and procedures. Next is the monitoring and regulation is required definitely, like our society, PSI, Pre-Engineered Structure Society, can offer to do this monitoring and regulation and design methodologies, uniform design standards, manual, which can lead to formulation of the codal provisions for future. And buildability score. I feel that the Urban Development Ministry, we have to work with to introduce the buildability score so that the precasters will get the advantage in getting the permissions because of its buildability with least inconvenience to the neighbors. That's very important. So this is already prevalent in other countries like Singapore, BCA and all. So we have to also bring in this concept. And next is the insurance policy. The insurer is not talking about different premium for precast construction where it is less risk involved in during the construction because of more engineering, and conventional construction where it is riskier, and we are seeing so many accidents happening, reported itself or so many, there will be so many unreported accidents. And so we must pursue with the insurance companies and the government to get the insurance policy. That means to penalize the people who have more risk. So there should be proper risk assessment for the insurance policy. Next is the GST, taxation. There should be incentive for the completely organized industry like precast, because there is no material or work that can go unaccounted. So it requires definite incentive or subsidy to encourage this nascent and upcoming industry, which will bring in more organized taxation actually. So GST, we should request the government to give incentive in the GST. And the next important thing is Bureau of Indian Standards to come up with more rational partial safety factors. Like we have this dead load 1.5, live load 1.5, other wind and earthquake 1.5. If we can introduce the modeling of the uncertainty using fuzzy logic, we can arrive at more realistic and logical factor for precast, because in precast we have lesser tolerances, and more fixed dead loads, like self-weight of the structure is very much fixed because of the lesser tolerance. So these are all the important policy reforms I recommend and request every stakeholder to participate in achieving these policies. And then in procurement contracts, the design build contracts particularly, where it can be a lump sum contract or item rate contract or a yardstick contract, we should make the client to make it technology neutral, because the precast technology is patented by different companies and each one have their strength. So you define your battery line of the building and the rest let it be decided by the consultant and precaster to implement this technology neutral. Next is eligibility criteria. We cannot apply the same pre-qualification requirements for precast as well as conventional. So it requires involvement of the industry to come up with recommendations for more rational eligibility criteria. Next is the LD clause. It is hardly negligible, in my opinion, in the present condition because of the lobby of the conventional contractors. And we all know that the construction contracts run into 5 years period average. I have some contracts going at 10 years also, because it's very difficult to control this timeline. So unless we have stringent LD and termination clause and risk and cost clauses implemented, it is very difficult to really attract this technology implementation. Next is the incentive for timely or early completion. Also should be there in the contract. Then people will move out to this precast technology. Next is the advance cash flow requirement will be different for precast because it's the faster work and we have to cast all the elements before erection, and it will all happen in a short span of 3 months. So we have to think of drafting mobilization advance and material advance clauses differently for this precast. And finally, the terms of payment and yardstick turnaround time, because it's very fast, unlike conventional method where you have 1 month cycle time. In precast, we have 2 days, 3 days kind of cycle time. So for that cycle time, the billing cycle also has to be faster and or advances to be paid. So we have to relook at the estimation of the yardstick for the contracts and terms of payment. So with this few words in the given time, I could cover as much as possible. And thank you very much. And you can always connect with me on my mail or number or my Facebook page or LinkedIn page. And thanks for giving me this opportunity. You can shoot out your questions to these numbers. So thank you. Bye.